Hello, thank you all for coming to this performance of How to Train Your Dragon. I'm the main character, I'm Hiccup, but I'm not actually here because it starts with a voiceover. I am saying something about the town of Burke, something like, welcome to Burke, and it's a cool aerial shot, so you're like, woo, look at Burke. We have Vikings here, and it sucks. This town sucks, and also we have dragons. Okay, and then it's me, Hiccup, and I'm like, hey, I want to go fight the dragons like everyone else because I want to be cool. But my dad is like, Hiccup, we all know you're a pussy, so get back inside. And I'm like, but Dad, and he's like, the problem is just all of this. And I'd be like, but Dad, you just gestured to all of me. And he's like, yes, that is the problem. Stop being all of you. Actually, it's Gobber that says that. Anyway, I'm inside the blacksmith shop, and I'm making a sword with metal stuff, and I'm like staring off in the distance really broodingly, and I'm like, I'm gonna catch me a dragon. I'm gonna get me one of them. So I'm a scary man. Actually a preteen boy. And then I run off on my own. And I'm like, I'm gonna catch a Night Fury because that's the biggest, baddest dragon of all of them. So I shoot, get down and I shoot my little thing, and I down a Night Fury is down, and I'm like, oh my god, I did it. But then, there's the dragon that comes along, and it's like, I'm gonna burn you, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna die. But then, my dad shows up, save the day, and then I tell you that he's the chief of the village. And that's when I introduced Astrid. I'm in love with Astrid. But Astrid thinks I'm a loser because I am kind of a loser. Then I go off on my own again the next day because I want to find the Night Fury that I downed. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to find the Night Fury. I'm out of breath because I'm running to find the Night Fury. And the Night Fury is down, it's in the ropes. So at first I'm like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to tear out your heart and take it to my father. This is the greatest moment in cinematic history. No one can ever tell me different. But I'm like, oh my god, this Night Fury, I hurt this completely innocent animal, and I feel really bad about myself. And I did this. Greatest line in cinematic history. So I'm like, I did this. And then, even though the dragon will probably kill me, I free the dragon, and he just gets way up in my face, and he's like thinking about killing me, but then he doesn't do it because I spared his life, then he spares mine. And now we're putting Hiccup in killing dragon training, and I'm Stoic the Vast. I'm Hiccup's dad. I'm talking to Gobber about what a disappointment my son is. Also, Gobber's in love with me, but we haven't gotten to that in this movie yet. But anyway, so I'm like, when I was a kid, my dad told me to bang my head against this huge boulder, and I did it. And you know what happened, Gobber? You got a headache. No, I split that rock in two. It taught me what a Viking could do. We could, tame seas and break mountains or some other cool sounding shit. And Hiccup is not that boy. You don't know that. Yes, actually I do. No, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Turns out you were right, Gobber, but I don't know that yet. So anyway, then I'm in dragon training, and I suck. I suck at, not dragon training, training to kill dragons, because that's what we do in Burke, we kill dragons. But then off to the side, I'm like, I go and find the Night Fury is free, but he can't fly away because I injured his tail. So then we become friends, and I learn more about dragons, and he learns more about humans, and through our friendship, we bridge this divide between humans and dragons, and we think, you know what, maybe we don't have to kill each other. Maybe we can live in peace and harmony because you're a delightful creature, and so am I. There's a really cute scene in the montage where Hiccup is like getting to know Toothless, where they're like eating, and they're these little dragons, and he gives one of the little dragons a bit of food, and then the little dragon just like nuzzles up to him and is like, and Hiccup is like, oh wait, sorry, you couldn't tell I was Hiccup without that. And Hiccup was like, everything we know about you guys is wrong. Oh, there's this part with the book where the book full of dragons, and like Gobber gives us all the book and no one else wants to read it, and so then it's just me and Astrid left, and I'm like, wow, Astrid, I guess we're gonna have to share this book, you know. And Astrid's like, read it, fuck you. And I was like, okay, I'll go fuck myself then. And then I read the book, and it's all like, and every dragon listed is like, extremely dangerous, kill on sight, extremely dangerous, kill on sight, extremely dangerous, kill on sight. And then it gets to the part about Night Fury, and it's like, don't even try it, dude, this dragon will fuck you up. And then we go back to the montage with Toothless, and he's just being the most adorable thing ever. But then I get really good at the killing dragon training stuff, because I know all these tricks now and I'm a wizard. Then where like we do this obstacle course thing, we're like running from dragons. This one guy, his name is Snotlout, I think. I'm trying to do this cool move where I throw this axe, but I miss, and Astrid is just like not impressed at all. And then I'm like, Astrid, the sun was in my eyes. What do you want me to do? Block out the sun? I can do that, but I don't have enough time right now. Oh, then I have like this bonding scene with my dad where he's like, here, son, here, you're training to kill dragons now, and that means I'm starting to accept you as a human being, and this is half of your mother's breastplate, so can wear that as a helmet. Yeah, this was on your mother's tit, and now you can wear it on your head. Isn't that great, son? Yes, father, I love it. Thank you. No, I'll be Astrid now. So I'm Astrid, and I am like, Hiccup is doing way too good in his killing dragons training, and this does not coincide with my previous beliefs that he is a loser. And I want to know what the fuck is up, because I was the front runner until this bitch came along. So I'm like, hey, Hiccup, no one gets as good as you do, especially you, so who's training you? Hiccup's like, no one, Astrid, I don't know what you're talking about. And Hiccup's like, oh, I've been training this dragon, here, let's go on a ride. But my reptile is being stupid, and he like flips upside down and all this stupid shit just to try to scare Astrid. And I go, thanks for nothing, you useless reptile. And Astrid is like freaking out, like, ah, I'm gonna die. But then it like evens out, and we're all good, and we're like in the sky, and everything's great, and we're like, it's a magical experience, and Astrid's probably falling in love with me a little bit. Then Toothless freaks out and starts taking us to the lair of the dragons, and we're like, oh, and we realize that all the food that the dragons are stealing from the village, they're actually giving to their head dragon, because if they don't give the head dragon enough food, then the head dragon will eat them. It's actually called the alpha dragon, whatever. Toothless brings us back, and by the way, I won the killing dragon training thing, and they want me to kill a dragon now. So Astrid's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? They want you to kill this dragon. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. And then Astrid is like, okay, well, whatever. Well, and then she punches me, and I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, that was for, you know, almost killing me. I'm like, okay. And then she goes, mwah, that's for everything else. And I'm like, oh. Then it comes to the part where I'm, like, trying to kill the dragon, but then I have this iconic scene where I'm, like, holding this, and I have, like, had this thing, I'm gonna kill a dragon, but then I, like, shock everyone, and I'm not one of them! We don't have to kill each other, it's okay! But then my dad freaks out, and he's like, no, and he's banging on stuff, and it scares the dragon, and it spooks him, and then, I'm gonna get killed by the dragon, but then Toothless hears my distress from across the way, and he's like, my boy, I must save my boy! So he comes flying in to save me, and he does, but then my dad captures Toothless, and I'm like, don't hurt him, don't hurt Toothless, he's just trying to protect me! And then, there's this whole scene with my dad, where he's like, you're not my son. And I'm like, but Dad. And then I slip. I make a stupid brain mistake, and I mention the hive with all the dragons, and he's like, his eyes glaze over, and I'm like, we are gonna go kill all the dragons at once. And I'm like, Dad, it's like nothing you've ever seen. You can't do it. You're all gonna die. But he's like, fuck you, son. except for you're not my son, so fuck you. And so they go off, and I'm like, well, they're gonna die. Oh, they take Toothless with them. They take my boy with them to, like, show them, like, 'cause only a dragon can find the nest. And then I'm with Astrid, and Astrid's like, well, what are you gonna do now? And I'm like, something stupid. And she's like, great, well, you've already done that. And I'm like, and something crazy. And she's like, that's better. And then I gather up all my friends from dragon training, and we bust all the dragons out of their cages. And then one of the twins, who I haven't mentioned before this point, but they're one of the other people in dragon training, she's like, you're crazy, I like that. And I'm like, bitch, I'm taken. Oh, and then Snotlout has this great scene where he's like, I'm like guiding the dragon up to him, and I'm like, and he's like, I don't know, I can't pet it. I'm like pushing his hand towards the dragon's snoot, and then I put his hand on the snoot, and then he's like, oh, and he's like really cute, because he's like, oh my god, I just pet a dragon, this is great. And then we all get on the dragons, and we ride the dragons to the nest, because we got to stop everybody from killing each other, and all hell is already broken loose by the time we get there. And also, Gobber's undies are not in a good state. That's the state of emergency of the situation, is that Gobber has blown his undies. So we get there to save everybody. Toothless is, the boat he was on is on fire, and he went under the water, and he's drowning. And I'm like, oh shit, I have to save him. So I dive in, and I go blah, 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 blah. I try to save him, but then I start drowning too, but then my dad comes in and he saves me, and then he actually goes back for Toothless, and he, like, breaks him out, and it's, like, a really cool parallel to the scene previous, where I was the one who had captured Toothless, but then I cut him and let him free. It's, like, this really cool cinematic parallel, and he lets him out, and then, me and Toothless, we save the day, but I lose my foot, so then we match. But Toothless saves my life, but he does not save my foot. Just to be clear, I lose a foot. Then I finally win my dad's approval, and he loves me again. But I will always live with knowing that his love for me is conditional. And then someone, I think it's my dad, who's, like, gestures to me, and it's like, you got all this good stuff going on. I'm like, you just gestured to all of me, and it's like a parallelism again, but now it's like all of me because it's good. And then Astrid does the thing where she hits me and then kisses me again, and I'm really getting mixed signals there, and then everything's great.